Well, hello there, and welcome everyone to the Riches in the Niches podcast. I'm your host, Rob Jacomen. And guys, I'm super excited to bring on an amazing guest. And we have Mike Gagnon from Maverick Risk Advisors. He's a VP of sales. Mike is a super sharp guy. You guys won't be disappointed. Mike not only is a product of the home building industry, like he is actually a builder, but he's also running an amazing team at Maverick. And we're going to dive deeper into Mike's background, what they are doing to really transform the home building industry. And Mike's going to tell a little bit about what Maverick can do to really help you if you're a home builder and you're looking to better manage risk and become a lower risk business, and you're looking to better protect your profits of your home building business. Mike is going to be somebody who you're going to want to talk to. So without further ado, Mike, welcome to the show. We're super honored to have you on today.
Thanks for having me.
Awesome. So, Mike, let's dive in. Tell us a little bit about your background in the home building industry. Like, how did you get into the industry? Obviously, you're a product of the product. Like, I'm sure if guys are watching and listening right now, they're home builders and they've got challenges and problems. Like, how did you do this?
So it started off kind of by happenstance. I owned the insurance agency before I came to Maverick for 14 years before I sold it. And, as profits started rolling in, as the business was succeeding, I had a friend who became my business partner who was building homes, but he had a little bit more trouble generating the revenue to use to build the houses. So when banks were a little dry on giving the money, he came to me and said, "Hey, you have more money than I do. Let's partner up so we don't need the bank. And let's started with one house with the profits from my business, then one rolled into two, then two rolled into three. And then I want to say we're probably 50, 60 houses deep right now, averaging, 8 to 10 a year, depending on the year or what's available for land. Because obviously that's kind of been a little bit of a challenge, is just trying to find land to actually build houses in a good area right now.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting is the angle that I wanted to take with you today is, and I know we talked about this beforehand, it's what every home builder wishes their risk management and insurance broker understood. Now, as a home builder and being in the industry for as long as you have, like owning an actual insurance agency, what's the answer to that question?
Well, I think the biggest thing So when I sold the agency, I didn't really know if I was going to go back to a 9-to-5 job. This is the only job I applied for and the only job I got. So ever since owning my own business, this is where I came. So this is literally when I saw builders and helping home builders with insurance, I was like, perfect. This is for me. I think the biggest thing that I hear from every home builder or every client we talk to is when they call their insurance agent, they never can get an answer to their question because that agent doesn't know the answer to the question. It's obvious. So they have to then send an email up the chain. They have to go to the carrier, wait for that 48-hour response time, if they even get it that quick, because everyone's understaffed. So they just never have anyone that knows what the hell they're talking about. So when the home builder says, "Hey, I have this construction defect, the shower pan had this crack, it's going from here, it's going down the joist," Jim, Bob, Sue, Mike, Susie, whoever on the other end of the phone is saying, they're nodding their head saying, okay, but they honestly have no idea what the hell the builder's talking about. So then they're taking that information, which generally they're telephoning it back and it's not even the right information to find out what it is. So that's the biggest thing. They just don't ever deal with anyone that knows exactly what they do. They're dealing with a generalist, like say a agency that does the flower shop. They'll do the tire guy. They'll do the renter's insurance for your teenager that got their first apartment. They'll do the car insurance. They just don't have a specialty. They just don't know.
Yeah. So you're actually making my entire point of why I do this show in the first place. And that is, and we're sitting here, one builder speaking to another builder, if they're listening or watching right now, and that is becoming an industry niche specialist and doing something world-class and doing that one thing really well is really what Maverick is all about. So share a little bit about how that became like the sole focus of everything you guys do, because you truly understand the problems, the challenges, the needs, the aspirational goals of a builder.
Yeah, I think what really differentiated Maverick in this space is we were a 1-2-10 home warranty company like some of our competition, right? That's what we did. More of a commodity. They need it. They're going to buy it. Whatever the price might be, they're buying from who they trust. the insurance was a really big deal for the average home builder where they wanted someone to talk to, a one-stop shop. So when I came on board, that was the whole objective. Build our sales organization to be a really good insurance department that only does home builders and contractors. That's all we do. We don't do anything else. If you refer your friend to me that bought the home and they need homeowners insurance, I can't help them. That's just not what we do. I only help the home builder. And I think where that really made a big difference is half the conversation, like yesterday, I was talking to a home builder, big home builder in Texas. They probably do 15, 20, 30 homes a year on a depending on the year. But half the conversation was about our product and having a conversation. The other half of the conversation was just shooting the shit about home building and what's going on in different markets. They're not going to do that with anyone else. They're not going to call the large independent insurance agency to get that conversation. They are certainly not calling an Allstate or a State Farm or a Geico and having an intelligent conversation about that. Like, they're not going to have a conversation where I can tell them about how the frost level was so high in New England this year that it was shredding the bucket on the excavator for $3,000 because the frost was so deep. They're just not going to have those conversations. So half the conversation is shooting the shit about what we all do. Half the conversation is shooting the shit about our actual product. But I'm not selling anything. My sales process is very different. I make it very clear. I don't follow up with you after. I don't hound you. I don't send you 30 emails to do business with us. We have a great product. Every time you call, I pick up the phone. If I'm on the other line, you get a call right back. Every email gets answered same day. Even if I have to wait to get something back to you, you're acknowledged. And that's just what we do that's different. You always get a response. And we have a really large home builder franchise organization that we do a lot of their are in that organization. And one pretty nice comment they said is, I was speaking at the engagement and going over a bunch of stuff with all these builders. And one guy raised his hand and said, if Mike doesn't call you back that same day, unless it's 5 o'clock, he's dead. He's dead. And you got to call Maverick because he's dead and we don't know where he is. He always gets back. And that's all everyone wants. They just want to be acknowledged because their premiums are not small. These are not $500 policies. These are expensive policies from 10, 15, 20, 30 grand, sometimes lower. They just want an acknowledgement that you're working with them, you're working for them, and you know what the hell they're doing.
So that actually is a really great segue into the question of what does Maverick provide? So the way I look at it is, and I know you, Mike, I look at it as like you have this fortress around you, around your business, and you're really putting up that protection around preserving and protecting the profits of a builder. Yeah. So talk a little bit about some of the products, because maybe people don't know what, maybe they think Maverick just sells a GL policy or warranties. Yeah. Share with us what types of products does Maverick offer to the builder to really fortify that protection? So
we started using that term, protecting your profits. Actually, I started talking about that about a year ago with some of our builders, because let's say an average home, they make $100,000 a home. They do 5, 6, 7, 10 a year. Let's say they make 500 grand in profit. All our products are designed to make sure you keep that $500,000 in your profit and that you don't get sued. That profit is just what it's called, profit, after all expenses, insurance, labor, warranty, everything. So we give you the 1, 2, 10 warranty, which is very inexpensive. After year one, after you do all your builder promises where your nail pops, drywall cracks, or everything, we cover everything. And we cover foundation and everything from year one. So you don't have to worry if anything fails on that house, that's structural or whatnot, that the warranty covers, you don't have to come out of pocket. Your profit is protected. Our general liability, we make sure we give you an A+ rated carrier, an A+ rated product that doesn't have the exclusions of the average policy that a lot of these people are getting, that once I point out, they're like, what the hell was I paying for? That your profit is protected. So 3 years down the line, if Mr. Smith calls you and says, I'm suing you, all my pipes burst, you have insurance to protect you for the construction defect or whatnot, to protect you, so you don't have to go into that $100,000 per house that you made money on 3 years ago and dip back in to pay back. You can plan for that money to put it in your 401k, retirement, buy a house, buy a vacation house, pay for your kids' college, and not have to worry about what do I do with that money? We are protecting your profits. That's what we do.
Love it. Love it. So from your perspective, Mike, as a builder, because this is really important, as a builder, what are the biggest financial blind spots that can absolutely wreck a project's profitability?
So the biggest one that builders don't realize, especially in states that don't require insurance, is certificates of insurance naming you additional insured. That from day one has to be something. If you use a sub that doesn't have insurance, you are truly opening yourself up for a lawsuit. And that's where the majority of claims come from. You got to make sure you're protecting. If that means you got to pay a little bit more for a sub that's properly insured, you just have to do that and build that into your business plan, because that's where you'll get sued year 2, 3, 4, 10 years down the line after that statute, before the statute of repose happens, where that's where you're going to get nailed. Second thing is subcontractor agreements. Most builders don't realize that in all these subs contracts, there's blurbs that literally say, this is only valid if you're bound by an agreement or a subcontractor agreement to your builder. You don't have that written subcontractor agreement, their insurance can say, yeah, we named you additional insured, but you don't have the agreement. It's null and void. You got to have that. And the second thing is a big one, CG 2294. 85 to 90% of all these policies, including some big name carriers that a lot of people think are the name in the game because of how their title reads, that is a big deal. You don't want to have that on your policy. You're better off having a company paying a tad more and often less to have that coverage, so you're not excluding all the work done by your subs. 99.9% of all home builders hire subs to do all the work. If you have that exclusion, your policy is basically a slip and fall policy. It's useless.
Wow. So that, and I don't think that's a lot of when I used to work with general contractors, that when I dive deeper into their business, all that stuff and how they manage it was a mess. So talk a little bit about what can Maverick do to help kind of organize and clean up that mess, that if a builder doesn't have all their things in order, what do you guys do to consult with them on making sure that they have all those things buttoned up?
So our process is simple. We are not salespeople. I am not a salesperson. I am not begging someone to do business. I'm not hounding you. I'm not tracking you down. If you send me an email saying, hey, I heard you're the guy to talk to, I want to talk to you, my response is, sounds great. Can't wait to talk. What's your availability this week? If you don't ever email me back, I am not hounding you. Our approach is very different. We just go through everything you have. I ask for copies of what you have. First thing I'm going to do is look at the policies you have. You could have a really great system and a really great policy at a really great price. And if that's the case, I'll be the first one that tells you, this is fantastic. I wouldn't change a thing. Or here's what you're missing. And if you just need a subcontractor agreement and you don't want to switch to us, I'll give you that. I'll take care of you because you'll refer me down the line or you'll come back. If you don't have a great product and you don't have a great system, we're just going to go through the whole gambit of what you should do to protect yourself. Here's why. Here's how to do it. Generally 3 simple steps to solve all this. I'll lay out the groundwork for you. I'll give you the how to get a subcontractor agreement. I'll actually give you a copy of a proven one for the carriers that is ready to go. We'll go over the right carrier to make sure you're covered the right way. And then we'll go over what it's going to cost and everything else, lay out the roadwork again. And if you want to move forward, we're happy to do it. We can literally have you taken care of within 2 business days. And it's only 2 business days on the insurance side because we have to get the quote back from the carrier. Warranty, we can have you done within a day, signed up, ready to go, protection given, contracts, verbiage, everything. So you don't have to worry going down the line.
Wow. It's almost like you don't have to go anywhere else. You just say, hey guys, I want to just I want everything taken care of because, and one thing as a business owner, and you know this, Mike, firsthand, business owners don't like surprises and they also don't like to carry on risk. A lower risk business is a more valuable business. So is that kind of how you guys look at each home builder? It's like, if we can help you become lower risk, not only are we focused on protecting your profits, but we're actually helping you become a better business, like a better run business.
Totally. If you don't have all the proper safeguards in place with certificates and lawsuits are happening left and right, and you're getting claims all over the place, you're going to go out of business, because what's going to happen is your $20,000 insurance for a big home builder is going to become 120, or you're not going to get insurance, and then you're out of business. So the more we can help you control those claims, it's going to keep pricing down too for all of you. So by doing that, unfortunately, home building is fantastic. It's one of the worst segments for insurance. A lot of carriers don't do it. The risk is high. The claims are high. People don't have the proper safeguards. So if we can line that all up for you so you're protected, you can keep building for 10, 15, 20 years, making a healthy living, going through tougher economies and keeping costs down and making sure you're not getting sued.
It's great. Mike, one of the things I don't think builders truly understand is when you're working with a specialist, and this is how I was in the fire protection contractor industry, is when you align yourself as an agency with the top carriers, MGAs, the ones that have access to these specialty products that are unique and specific to the industry that you are serving. That's a strategic advantage. That's an advantage for a business, is to work with a specialist who has access to all those unique custom tailored products. Talk a little bit about that, if you don't mind, Mike, and why is that an advantage for a builder to work with a specialist who has access to these custom tailored products that's like basically a perfect fit for their business?
Yeah, I mean, we have clout. I mean, we give so much business to certain carriers that we know are A+ rated, have great claims history of paying, great products, a lot less exclusions, the proper safeguards in place, proper loss ratios. I'm basically, for one of our carriers, I'm basically a field underwriter. It comes to me first. I look it over, and it only goes down if you're a proper fit. Then we're their only insurance company they do business with this product. It's their Homebuilder specialty product. We are the only ones that have it. Their loss ratios are in the 10 or 11, 12 percentile, which is extremely low for this class of business. It's profitable for them, which means they're willing to give you a much better rate because of the risk transfer and how it's being set up for you as a builder. That keeps pricing down, and they pay out claims every day. So we know that they pay. It's also a carrier I use personally. So I don't just say, hey, you should use this carrier. I hope they're good for you. It's who I use. I use the same builder's risk that I give to my builders. I use the same general liability carriers that I recommend to my builders. I use the same subcontractor agreement, the same safety plan, the same everything.
Wow. I mean, that's credibility right there, Mike. You're walking the walk, you're talking the talk, you actually are a product of your own product. And that's not something I can say about a lot of insurance agents that I talk to. You're actually in the trenches. So let me ask you this. Let's pivot here for a second, Mike. You've walked job sites and led sales teams.
Yep.
Where do most builders unintentionally expose themselves to risk?
Most of it is lack of certificates of insurance, because especially some states more than others, it's just having people on your job site without insurance, goofing around, using the nail guns like they're machine guns, joking around, or just not the proper protection equipment. That, and another big one that I don't do, I don't pre-sell houses. I only sell a house when it's complete and ready for a realtor to bring customers in, because there's nothing worse than the family of four every weekend going to your job site and checking it out to see your progress. It's muddy. There's stairs that aren't properly put in yet. It's all the makeshift stuff of the beginning of the framing of the house, and they're walking around. There's openings. That's the biggest stage out of pre-sold, but sometimes you just have to do it. But I always just say those certificates of insurance, you cannot have a job site where subs are going there working on your house with all the potential risk of nail guns, roofing, falling off, scaffolding, ladders, and not have someone properly insured. That is the biggest lawsuit any builder faces, insured subs. And that is a big reason why a lot of carriers exclude that from subs, because they want to eliminate that risk.
They want to eliminate that exposure entirely.
100%. It's the biggest exposure.
So that's actually another great question for me to understand. The Maverick model is, why is the certificate tracking still broken in this industry? How does Maverick actually solve that problem and fix it for builders?
Yeah. So we have a program, a pretty simple red light, green light, yellow light type of system. It's how I explain it. Green light, your sub's good to go. Red light, they're not good to go. Don't pay them. Easiest way, if you want to get your sub to give you what you need, is say, no problem. When I have that, I'll give you your check. They work a lot faster that way.
Yes, they do.
And yellow light is, hey, it's good now, but it's getting close to its expiring or whatever it might be. I think a lot of it is a lot of builders, either they're doing this themselves or they have office staff that maybe doesn't know, or they just don't have a good system to track it. They ask for it. If they ever get it, they don't have it, or they just throw it in a manila envelope in their desk. So our system is a email tracking system where you just give our email, basically, is the short of it. We take, 50, 100, 200 of your subs. They send the certificate into our system. Once that hits our system, we're looking for additional insured status, waiver of subrogation, all the basics you need to have a proper sub. So if something happens, you have it in a electronic vault in our system, let's call it, ready to go. So you have all that stuff. And and let's just use easy round numbers, $1,500. That is not expensive for what you'd have to pay someone on an hourly to track that. It's all in one place, ready to go with the sub's name listed out. What they have, did they check mark with the basics you need to have a proper certificate? Because we know what your carrier wants on their certificates and subcontractor agreements. So we're mapping that to say, hey, waiver of subrogation, additional insured status, blah, blah, blah. Check. Green light, ready to go. Red light is John Siding does not have this properly. Do not pay them. Do not let them on your job until this is fixed.
It's amazing. You guys have a system down pat. So
yeah.
That's something that, how worth it is it for you as a home builder to have that added level of protection and safety, knowing that you guys have gone through that checklist, right? If you're building a home, what are you going to do? You're going to look at the plans. You're going to look at you're going to have your checklist of all the things that we need to do to build that foundation and start, on that project. It's no different with insurance. You have to have all those basic foundational things in place in order for you to be successful.
Well, and on that certificate tracking, if you miss 4 or 5 certificates, maybe not as much from the person that cleans up after the job site, like does the quick washing the windows or something like that. You miss that framer certificate of insurance and you get to your audit, which every carrier does, your audit is going to be a lot more than $1,500 for that certificate. You could add $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to your general liability exposure, and that payment is due within 30 days. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's due within 30 days with every insurance carrier. If you don't pay, they will send it to collections. They know what to do. So that audit is huge at the end of the year. That $1,500 you spend will save you tens of thousands over the course of your building career easily with just tracking everything. It's a must-have.
Let me stop you for a second, Mike, because this is something that I don't want to make any assumptions that any builder that's watching or listening right now truly understands what you just meant with that audit. Because what you're talking about is, if you don't have all these things in place, the carrier has the right to come back to you and say, hey, these guys did not have the proper coverages, and you as a builder have to pick up that exposure. Can you explain it in layman's terms, like the simplest way possible, what that means to a builder and why it's a problem on the audit side when a carrier comes in and says, hey, you're now on the hook for this? What does that mean, Mike? Because let's put it in really simple terms.
So if you have 50 subs at the time of audit, you built 5 homes, they're going to ask for your annual sales, some carriers, or they're going to ask for all your subcontracted costs, labor and materials. Either way, you give them those financials. The second thing you have to give is certificates to all the subs and what you paid them in order to get to that number, right? So if you have 20 subs that worked on 123 Main Street, and 123 Main Street, out of those 20 subs, you have 10 certificates, automatically they're going to say, okay, you're missing framer, roofer, HVAC guy or girl, whoever it might be, and you paid them $150,000 for each class code. They're going to go on your policy and say, hey, you didn't pass this risk on. We now have the risk. We're adding them as an uninsured sub to your policy. And if it's the framer or the roofer, it's like the highest, most expensive class code at like $50 per 1,000 of whatever you pay. It's going to get extremely expensive. And your policy all of a sudden could double to triple instantly. And there's no going back. If you can't get those certificates, you're going to be charged for that, and you can't fight it. You can't say, I'm not going to pay. They are going to send you the bill, and if you don't pay, it will go to collections on your business. You have to have those certificates. It's a must-have.
So what you're saying, Mike, is that it is worth the investment to have all these things organized and have somebody take care of that problem for you, so that it doesn't become a more expensive problem down the line, where that could have all been prevented in the first place if you took care of everything upstream.
Yeah. At a show in Arizona, I don't remember which show it was. We were doing a roundtable discussion where builders came and talked. And I was popular because I knew what they were talking about. So we were talking about certificates and everything. This builder was a high-end builder. They a lot of revenue coming in, like $20-30 million a year plus builder. Their office person didn't realize what these certificates were and threw them all away. She threw every certificate away. It came in. Even the one she had, she tossed them. And when they came in, she just looked at it and said, oh, they have insurance, and then tossed it. She didn't keep it. So their audit, they got some of them to come back. They got some of the certificates, but not everyone they could get a hold of. And they just never got all the certificates. They had a $74,000 audit on top of their GL that was probably already 75, 80 grand, give or take. Due in 30 days. Hope you have it in your checking account. There is no payment plans with that. It is due in 30 days with every single carrier. They don't stretch that out. It's due because it's money they already earned. It's not time that they haven't used yet. They've already applied coverage for that situation.
See, that's a thing I don't think that a lot of these guys truly understand. And
so $1,500 saves Jim, Johnny, Susie, Betsy, whoever in the office, I don't know, 15 hours a month collecting these that they can do regular other work that you need them to do. And for $1,500, it would have saved them $70,000. It's a pretty good return.
Not only that, but the administrative expense, and this, Mike, as a builder, the administrative expense of having somebody internally manage your insurance program, it's not just managing policies, it's managing certificates, subcontractor agreements. All this stuff has to be done, and it's worth it to make that investment in your business and to have somebody who knows exactly what they're doing take care of it. So, Mike, one more question, if you don't mind. You've built homes, managed risk, led sales teams. What's the most misunderstood aspect of profit protection for builders?
Limit protection for builders. Well,
profit protection.
What was that?
What's the most misunderstood aspect of profit protection for builders? Like, what does that really mean, profit protection? If you could talk about it from all the angles because we covered a lot of ground today.
Yeah.
If we're kind of coming up for air and looking at it from a big picture, what is the whole idea? Maverick's whole strategy is really about protecting the profits of a builder. Let's bring everything full circle now and all the things we talked about. If I'm a builder right now, and I'm talking to you, Mike, what are the things that I should be most concerned about that could potentially impact my profits?
I think the biggest thing is when you talk to any builder, especially in such a litigious environment we're in now, where everyone wants to sue and lawyers literally drive some of these new neighborhoods in ambulance chase and try to get class action lawsuits against some of these builders, or just jump in on stucco claims. It's funny. My father-in-law is a judge. So he deals with all these like claim cases or lawsuits that are going against builders. And he loves our subcontractor agreement and our whole thing. He thinks it's genius because of just all the lawsuits that you see all the time. I just think in general is having someone that really knows your business, knows the proper insurance, knows the warranty, that honestly, in some of these states, you can add a 1-2-10 warranty for really not a lot of money. Like, let's make up a number. I mean, obviously every house is different, but $600 to put a 1-2-10 home warranty. $600 is nothing to cover your home for a 10-year statute of repose if anything happens. It's such easy money. And especially in some of these states like a Texas, where the soils are just not great with all the contrasting of the weather and the dryness and everything else. And just have someone that at the end of the day, if I call Mike, or if it's not me, it's someone else, they know what the hell you're talking about, and you can get a hold of them and they can actually give you good guidance. It is a huge mistake in my mind. If you're doing a small little general liability call any company that does commercials on TV, they are not the carrier who should be doing your home builder business. That is not what they do. They will not have the best coverages. You need a specialty company. And honestly, it's probably going to be from a company you've never heard of, because they don't advertise. They're smaller companies. They look at risk on each case to make sure what's the odds of something happening. We have enough reserves. We need to take care of everyone, not a big conglomerate, and have someone, again, that you can text, call, email, or whatnot that just knows what you're talking about. That is half the battle. Because if someone doesn't know what you're talking about, how can they give you the proper coverage? Because they don't know what you're talking about. They're guessing that it's the right coverage, but you just can't go to a generalist agency. And if you said to them, hey, what's this CG 2294 on my policy exclusion? There's no way the average person is going to answer that to you properly. And if they tell you like, oh, well, it's not a big deal, you're covered, you still have coverage, you don't. So it's just, there's so many, you just have someone that knows what you're talking about. If you have that, someone like me is going to give you what you need and present it to you properly. And then it's up to you to make the decision if you want to carry it the right way. But you'll have the option to do it the right way.
I love it. So, Mike, really what you're talking about is, and I think this really comes through with the way you're sharing and talking about these things, is you're just transparent. You're just like, matter of fact, hey, man, we know we're good at what we do. We're the best in the industry at this one thing. We do it better than anybody else. We're going to help you in all these different areas. And that's truly what Maverick has been built on. Mike, this has been an amazing interview. I'm actually sitting here, like, I've been in this industry almost 20 years and I worked with contractors, and I'm telling you right now, I learned stuff from you. And if that's the case, man, you guys are on the right track here. And by the way, you have an amazing team. Like, the kind of team and the culture that you guys are building there at Maverick is unlike any agency I've seen in a long time. And that's truly a testament to you and your leadership. So, gosh, keep up the great work, Mike. How can people get in touch with you? If the builders listening or watching right now, what's the best place to or way to reach you, Mike? And I'll definitely put it in the show notes so everyone has your contact info. But what's the best way to reach you?
Yeah, I mean, you can always email me at mgagnon@maverickbuilders.com. Honestly, most people call me. I get so many text messages. I mean, I work off a cell phone. I don't have an office phone. I'm in the Northeast, so sometimes I'm different time zones than some builders. And what's really cool about my job and the customers I work with, there might be a time where I'm at soccer practice, but I'll text you back and I'll say, hey, give me 40 minutes, and I'll always call you back. So call my cell phone, 603-340-2161. And if anything, if you don't do business with us, you'll learn something from the conversation. And even if you didn't want to take what I offered you and you still really trust the person you're with, I still bet you I'll help you or give you something that'll work for you.
Love it. Mike, what I appreciate the most about what you just shared right there is, we're in the advent of AI and technology and everybody like digital everything. You're like an old school guy. You're like, that's like, you really got me there, because I grew up in that era where we didn't have cell phones. Remember those really big, like those really monsters?
The bag phone.
The ones that it was like the bat phone that was in the car, and like you had to, it had a cord and you'd pick it up. Like,
you got 10 minutes a month.
Right. Yeah. I'm dating myself right now, but it's amazing that people really appreciate more than anything else, because you're a relationship guy. Like, you're a relationship builder guy first. And that's what I really appreciate about what you do. So, Mike, thank you so much.
And on that, I'm happy to do emails, but honestly, there's so much stuff to talk about, to discuss with someone about a policy. I cannot put it in an email in layman's terms. Sometimes it's just better to get on the phone and just shoot the shit in a conversation, go through it, see what you want, see what I can recommend, and go over wants and needs, and just really have a one-on-one conversation. I'd rather talk to someone on the phone all day, every day, than back and forth email. We can get so much done just having a real conversation and getting to know each other. And honestly, that's how I get to determine if I want to do business with you. And you get to determine if you want to do business with me. You want to do business with people that you like and that are kind to you. You treat them well. Have a phone conversation with your person. Make sure you you have a good feeling and a gut feeling both ways that they're a good customer, you're going to be great for them, and make sure you all jive, because I think that's important too.
It's awesome, Mike. Man, it has been great having you on the show. Listen, I see us having another episode where we talk, maybe we go a little deeper with the actual business of running a home building business and talk about some of the challenges and the things that you've experienced over the years. But Mike, thank you so much for your time. And gosh, wait till the next episode of the Riches in the Niches podcast, because we're going to have another amazing guest. Mike is obviously an expert and a specialist at what he does, and we're extremely honored and grateful to have you on today.
The next one, I'll have you come to the closing table when I sell the development. We'll do that, and then we'll do the car ride back to my office.
Awesome. All right,
thank you very much.
We'll see you soon.